Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are coming at you once again from a job site. I know it's been a long time, but I'm ready to get back at it. And speaking of getting back at it, we're gonna start with some wainscot. We've got a breakfast nook area in here. We got a wainscot. We've got to trim out some windows, a door in there, some transitions to tackle, some obstacles. But all in all, I'm excited to get started. So let's head inside and I'll show you guys what we've got. So here's the area we're gonna be working in for the next week or so, guys, and this is the breakfast nook area right off the kitchen. We're gonna start our wainscot right where these cabinets are and then work it all the way around to the side of this door. And you can see John is already in here getting the floor prepped for us and protected. But it's gonna be about a 5-foot high wainscot. We're gonna have to incorporate these switches into the panel layout somehow. And then one thing we're gonna do that's a little bit different, and I can talk about this more as we lay it out, is the casing of the door, which we're going to redo all that. All these windows and this door will be cased in craftsman style with the header cap. But the casing of this door is actually going to become the vertical style of the wainscot. Now, we have done that in the past. I don't think I've shown it on the channel, but anytime you have a small space like this, you can always use that casing as your vertical style of your wainscot build. And since we're going to incorporate that right here, I'm going to incorporate that on the other side, and I may incorporate that into all these windows as well. I'm not 100% sure on that because we need to get our chalk lines out, take some measurements, and start really laying this out thoroughly. So I'm going to get some tools set up in the garage, keep getting this room prepped. All this base, all these window sills, all this will be removed, and then we can get to figuring out our layout. All right, guys, so we have all of our trim now removed, baseboard, door casing, window sills, all that good stuff, and we're ready to start chalking our lines. Since we're gonna have an overall 5-foot height on this wainscot, that's where we're gonna start chalking. We'll start at the top, work our way down, get all of our horizontal lines laid out first, and then we'll start laying out our vertical lines. The horizontal ones are pretty easy. They are not gonna change. The vertical ones, where the styles go, those are ones that are subject to change that are a little bit tricky. So we'll get all that figured out and see if we like the layout. If it makes sense, we will proceed. If not, we'll erase our chalk lines and try again. So as you can see, we have all of our horizontal top rail and trim lines here throughout this whole area. The bottom rail is going to be the same thing that was there, a 1x6, so we're not even going to waste our time chalking that. So horizontal lines are complete. This is a high wainscot. We would have the option to do a double panel. What I mean by that is, like, if you've seen the judges panel video that we did, you would have like a smaller panel up here and then a larger one at the bottom, or however you want to configure it. But we are going single panel, and we're pretty much done. We are done with our horizontal lines. So with that being said, we now have our vertical lines to talk about, and we are going to let these casings right here, these casings be our vertical stiles at the bottom as well. So what I mean by that is you'd have your 1x4 casing going up the side of this window, but instead of terminating right here on a windowsill, that's actually going to keep going and become our style underneath to incorporate into our wainscot. What I've got here is just a little 1x2 and then a 1x4, and I've got this marked off at a 3/16 reveal. I'm just gonna tack this on right here, and we're gonna use this to determine where those are going to lay out, because we're gonna trim these windows out and we're gonna just go right over this drywall with our 1x4 ripped to whatever width this is. Sometimes you have to bust the drywall out on these, you know, if they're operational windows or if the screens fold in, whatever, but these are not operational. They're just windows that don't do anything, so we can go back over with that. So with us going over the drywall, we are going to have an overhang back here. So I'm totally okay with that. If you wanted to still see the reveal on this window here, then you could bust the drywall out and then, you know, have that go in there. But this is gonna just be revealed back behind there. It's not a bad look. We do that all the time. It just looks like another one of these parts and pieces of the window. You hear that? That's the sound of America. You better watch it, Putin. So we now have that final reveal marked right there where that's gonna be. This obviously is just gonna be casing where that old casing used to be. It'll be the same exact thing, 1x4. So as far as laying out this, I mean, it's already laid out for us for the most part. We're gonna have one panel here, one there, one under each window, one in between each window. Same story on this wall, probably one big panel there, under and in between, and one big panel here. The only thing we have to lay out now is this one here. In between these two styles, that's too big of a panel to go with the rest of this room. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna split this one right down the middle and give it 2 panels. That's the plan on that one. So we're just gonna level this up with our line, drag it up, and complete that line. Underneath these windows, there's gonna be a 1x4 apron. And after the fact that all this is built in, then I'll come back with a windowsill and just pop that in. So one thing here, we're gonna have trim inside all these panels. This outlet right here is obviously gonna be in the way. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna see where my stud is. I'm pretty sure it's right there framing this window. So hopefully I have enough slack in the line to just move that thing over here. So we'll probably do that. Looks like same problem over here. I'm gonna have my framing on the right and I'm gonna try to move that to the left. So I've got 1, 2, 3 of these that are probably gonna have to be moved. The one over there in the corner is good to go. All right guys, so that's pretty much it for the layout. You can see our panel divisions, everything's good to go, it checks out. Got some outlets to move, got some switches to work around, got some transitions up against these cabinets and around this backsplash that we're gonna have to tackle. We actually have a pretty cool idea for that, so we'll see if we can pull it off. So next video, we're gonna be actually constructing this, and we're gonna be using all Windsor 1, guys. So I've got all these pieces here, and we actually bring this bag and we let this client pick out what they wanted several weeks ago because we have to order this stuff. But we've got some parts and pieces we've never used, so I'll give you a little sneak peek of that. There's our wainscot cap, so that's pretty cool. That caps right onto a 3/4, and then that profile, it's got a really nice sharp cuts to it. So I really like what we've got right here. And then I've got a cool transition I've got to make. So when this cap comes over here and butts up against this casing, I'm gonna do a really cool return. So anyways, guys, let me know if you have any questions or comments, and we'll catch you on the next video where we're actually building this.